moving on to the next leg of our conversation, and my brothers are standing by to take it up.
All right, Bukola, great one. I just followed up on some of the things you said about the destruction. It was very pathetic to see people destroying government assets. The government is doing their bit at the end of the day, and it's not really fair that what we saw at the FCTM. But I'm happy that recoveries were made, and everyone that is culpable should be arrested and prosecuted. That's as simple as it is. We already have a lot on our plate already. But hey, we'll move away from what you've been saying online to a conversation that shifts us to the southeast, and this time in Ebonyi State, but focus on infrastructure. We're being joined on the program by the Commissioner for Information and Orientation in Ebonyi State, Mr. Jude Okpo. He joins us via Zoom. Mr. Okpo, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you very much, and Happy New Year from here in Ebonyi State to our viewers.
Yeah, I wanted to, before I ask you the question, I wanted to find out, because I realized that His Excellency the Governor, I don't think I've ever seen him in any TV interview talking to the press. I mean, an interview, whether during his campaign season or now. Is there a reason for that?
No, that's not correct. I know very well that he granted the World Press Conference during the Supreme Court ruling. He also granted a live interview to Arise Television last year. In fact, he have appeared on television a couple of times, on live interview. Yes.
Okay, I haven't seen it, so that's why I was asking. But let's get to the conversation.
Maybe you thought hosted him, so that's why you're saying that. Maybe
perhaps.
You're doing it.
All right, Mr. Jude, let's talk about some of the happenings in Ebonyi State, for instance. I know that our focus is on infrastructure, but I want to find out first, before we get to the core issues of infrastructure, let's talk about how the state has been able to manage security, especially the things that has to do with the sit-at-home order. We know we've had conversations with some of the governors. Does it still hold in the state, and how has that been managed so far?
Not at all. Ebonyi, the security architecture in Ebonyi has been a very peculiar and rewarding one. The state have never, succumbed to the authority of non-state actors. That's why the so-called sit-at-home have never been effective here in Ebonyi State. Our people have continued to go about their businesses every day of the week without any fear of molestation. And it is not something that happened out of loose. It is something that happened because of the deliberate, structure and the support that the government and the SNS is giving to the security agencies. And the dragnet clearing competition, as was speaking. Recently, we also gave approval, and as we speak now, the procurement process is ongoing for the construction of another unit of 120, semi-detached bungalows for civil servants in the state. So the housing sector is also receiving very serious attention from the government. And for instance, I saw a report recently where, an analysis of housing rates across the country and the high cost of housing rates in the country. And Ebonyi is at the low bottom of that, assessment. So we are, even though we are not where we intend to be in terms of provision of housing scheme, but we are doing much, considering the fact we have not spent up to 2 years in this administration. Now, coming to education, one of the key sectors that have continued to receive serious attention from the government of the SNC right of assembly is the education sector. And that's why when we came in, for the past 10 years, there has never been any employment in the education sector.
Right.
Teachers have continued to retire, and there is no way people are being filled in. And that's why we gave approval for the recruitment of teachers. Infrastructure-wise, 39 modern housing units in 39 locations.
All right, Mr. Okpo.
The government is ongoing after.
Mr. Okpo, my apologies. We're totally out of time, but maybe just land on this one as to just simple fact. I think the former governor, Dave Umahi, had promised 1 million housing units, I think in 2002 or so. How far has that come? What is the number right now? I know you've talked about it. Just give us some figure that we can work with.
I can speak for the government I'm serving right now. I may not have, I'm not an authority to say what happened.
Government is a continuum, Mr.
Where exactly they are right. Yes, I know, but I'm telling you, I cannot give an exact figure of what have been done in that regard. I'm talking about what we started as a government under this administration and where we are in housing scheme under this administration. That's what I can tell you, please.
All right, it's an ongoing conversation. I wish the government the very, very best as you try to serve the people. Judokpo is Commissioner for Information and Orientation in Ebonyi State. Thank you, sir, for coming on the program. We appreciate.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate.
All right, to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll switch gears. So two very interesting segments, including one where the young man chooses to teach maths and science in Pidgin. Join us again.